Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I know it's a sad occasion, but I thank you for coming out. Is there any questions?
Can we just walk through what happened from last night into this morning?
Well, it was a family dispute, and it spread it. And one of our officers was there to investigate, and he took one in the leg. And so that's how one of our officers got shot. So I was there at that time, and it spread it across Euclid Avenue. And I want to thank all the agencies that came. There were so many agencies that came here. I can't even name them. I'll let the chief name them, but I want to thank them for supporting us because they did a wonderful job. And they eliminated it from spreading outside of the target area to where he was at. They had him boxed in. He couldn't get out. And I want to thank them. That was excellent police work. And I want to thank Marcel Baker. He's the one that orchestrated everything, and I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud that he's with us. And I don't know the incident, the name of the people who got hurt. I mean, because it's still under investigation, and we got to, keep it under control. So is there any more questions that you asked about the situation?
You say you can't reveal the names of whom?
The people who was in it, who got shot.
Okay, the civilians, not
Yes,
the
sir.
officers.
Yes, sir.
But are there two civilians who were shot?
Yes.
And are they deceased?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know their relationship to the gunman?
There was family. I don't know how it was, what relationship there was, but it was family members. It was a domestic incident that just spread it. And I hate that this happened in our city, but I love the way all the police towns, they came in and supported it. And there were so many agencies that I can't even remember. I'm gonna let the chief tell you how many agencies was there.
You want to talk about the second officer?
How much?
Second officer.
Yeah, it was another, when they spread it across Euclid, another officer got shot. And I was at the hospital, I seen every one of them, and they was in good spirit. They might have been a little shocked, but they was in stable position, in condition, so none of them is really hurt where it was going to be permanent.
Was the suspect armed when he was apprehended?
I don't think so.
Can't say at this time.
Yeah. So I'm going to let Marcel Baker tell, because he was on the scene all night, and I know he's tired, and I want him to go home and get some rest. Go ahead, man.
Good evening. After an extensive search for a suspect who had committed numerous instances of violence in the community, both in the home and against our officers, multi-agency effort was led today to apprehend the male, and it was done without incident today. Wanted to also thank those agencies for their support. The chief will elaborate on the multi-agencies that were present today. Incidents like these affect the community at large. There are people that are grieving right now, and there are officers and their families who are hurting right now, including our department. And I can't say enough that our East Cleveland Police Department, amongst the other member agencies far and wide, really put together a great effort to track down this male today.
How much help? It seems to us that you actually had help from the community in zeroing in on this suspect.
Yes, we had a witness who witnessed the male crossing.
I hear your radio right in the microphone.
We witnessed the male crossing a yard, crossing the street and running through a yard, and we kind of zeroed in on his location. He moved his location from that point, and we zeroed in on that second location, and that's when he was apprehended. in the rear of Shaw High School.
And along the way, were there civilians helping direct you to where?
That was at the first point of sight when they found him the first time.
Okay, how helpful? I don't know.
It was very. They just keyed in on a direction of travel, and we were converging on the area as well.
Were there any prior encounters with this gunman, with the suspect? Have you had any issues in the past?
With this particular suspect, yes, there were incidents in the past with the suspect and or family.
Whenever you say so, was it part instances where the suspect fired at family in the past, or did the suspect fire at police officers?
One of the family members did fire at police officers in the past.
Not the suspect. One of the suspect's family members fired at police officers.
I have reason to believe that one of the suspects, one of the family members that is deceased now, did fire on police in times past.
And now, from my understanding, this is a little bit before 11. What officer was shot?
Yes, responding, he was met immediately with gunfire.
But then another, what is it, an hour and a half later, 2 hours?
Yeah, about a little under an hour and a half.
Did that second officer respond to the same address, or was it the area?
It was a secondary address. There was a shot spotter indication that pointed out at an area on Euclid Avenue, and the officers responded to that area. Upon responding to that area, the suspect fired from cover. From brush cover.
And if you're going to walk through this, I can also wait for whenever you get to the podium, but I think we're just trying to understand the sequence of events. Now, so the suspect, you got a call. What was the call that you guys were dispatched to?
Call was a shots fired call.
Shots fired call. When you arrived, were there two deceased? What did you find?
When the officer arrived, he was met by a gunfire. He met the suspect on the side of the house.
And then it took an hour and a half for the other officers to respond, or did officers just...
No, officers were responding to the scene. The shot spotter was a secondary incident. The suspect had subsequently possibly relocated by that point.
So the suspect was on the run at that point?
Yes.
And then whenever the second officer, how long did it take you guys to apprehend the suspect, and where was he apprehended?
The suspect was apprehended behind a residence adjacent to Shaw High School. He was caught a little under an hour ago. So it's been a extensive manhunt for this individual.
During the manhunt, was there ever a shelter-in-place order issued so residents knew what was happening?
We locked down an extensive perimeter to maintain resident safety, business owners, and such.
And were they notified on their phones or any messaging?
Due to the intensity of the search, we were worried about locating the male so that he didn't take any more lives.
Can you identify the suspect?
I cannot at this time.
Is there something that you guys are waiting for before you release that identity?
We are conducting an ongoing investigation, so at some point we will release this information.
Can you say who made the 911 call? Were there other relatives at the scene who were not?
There were other relatives present present at that address.
And how many altogether? We know two individuals were shot. They're deceased. Was there anybody else shot, or just how many altogether?
Only two people shot, and of the two people, those two are deceased. Other individuals at the residence were not harmed.
And it was...
I cannot provide that number at this time.
It was one of them who made the 911 call.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce the chief?
Chief. I wanted to introduce our Chief of Police, Reginald Holcomb. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm just going to read the statement, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it'll cover the series of events that took place last night until about an hour ago. Okay, City of East Cleveland stands in unwavering support of two of its own, Officer Hernandez and Officer Durda, who were injured in the line of duty. Both officers sustained gunshot wounds during an incident currently under investigation. They are receiving medical care at University Hospital and are in stable condition and continuing to recover. At this time, the suspect is in custody. The investigation remains active, and our law enforcement agencies are working diligently with local, state, and federal partners to bring justice to those responsible. Local agency, EDGE, which is SWAT, Cowgill County Sheriff's Office, Ohio State Highway Patrol, Brooklyn PD, South Euclid, Cleveland Heights, Cleveland, Euclid, RTA, CMHA, Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority, Shaker Heights, University Circle, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, U.S. Marshals, Secret Service, and BCI. Also, East Cleveland Fire Department, Chagrin Valley Dispatch, Cleveland EMS, and the Canton K-9 Unit arrived to assist us. We are grateful that Officers Hernandez and Durda are pulling through. This is a stark reminder, ladies and gentlemen, of the risks our officers face every day. I commend their courage and strength and assure the public that we are doing everything possible to protect and serve the public. The city will release additional information as it is everyone with information related to this incident to contact the East Cleveland Police Department. The Sheriff's Office right now is covering our calls for service. The Mayor, Safety Director, pretty much covered everything, so I'm not going to really answer any other questions.
I would like to ask about the two officers. Make sure we have their names right first, please.
Durda.
Pardon?
Durda, D-U-R-D-A. Hernandez, H-E-R-N-A-N-D-E-Z.
Got it.
Z.
Durda's first name is,
Joshua.
and Hernandez's first name?
Oh,
Brandon?
Brandon.
Brandon.
I'm sorry.
What can you tell us about them? Their service with the city.
Excellent. Coming in here is 2/3 of the battle. Excellent service, and conduct, exemplary officers.
And how long have they been with the department? Can you help us with
About
that?
4 years.
Both of them have
About
been
4
with
years.
Have you spoken with them today?
Okay, one is 4, one is a year.
Oh,
But he conducts himself like he's been here.
Have you been able to communicate with them today? Share any messages with them?
I left about 5 o'clock this morning, the hospital.
Was the man in custody, the suspect, was he hit by any crossfire? I'm assuming that there were shots fired. When police fired, did they hit him?
No.
And what was the key to finding him? Finding the suspect was neighbors' intel, because I know you guys had, I believe you had thermal imaging robots. I think I saw drones. What actually led to his apprehension?
Well, other than the fact that we had drones, when the sun came up, we actually saw him.
I'm sorry to keep asking questions, just trying to understand all the pieces here. Do we have a motive from the suspect and our investigators talking to him to figure out what that motive was?
Original call was domestic related.
And then, just to rewind, 2 were found dead that were family members, is that correct? And then,
We can't confirm that right now.
but were 2 found dead?
Yes,
Was there 6 shots, or do we know how many shots
we don't know.
fired?
Until the investigation is ongoing. The individuals who are unfortunately deceased are at the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's office. So until an autopsy is performed, we don't know.
I'm just going to rewind because at first we heard from the mayor that they were family members. Now we're hearing we're not, just so we're on the same page. They're not family members, or are we saying that they are family members?
The mayor didn't he didn't make a mistake. It's just that we can't confirm that right now. We believe they are, but until we get the autopsy report to get a positive ID and get further into the investigation as far as actually knowing who they are, hopefully finding out what actually happened, if there were other people in the house, we don't want to say for certain.
Can you clarify real quick, is Hernandez served 4 years and Durda's 1 year on the police department? Which one's Durda?
Durda's 4,
Thank you.
Hernandez is 1.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And when the suspect was arrested, did he put up any sort of resistance?
He was arrested without incident. There's too many police out there.
And then with the shot spotter for the second shooting, was it shots that you guys heard that triggered it for the one? It was, I believe, around 1 a.m. when the other officer was shot.
About 2 hours.
But was it another shooting that triggered that? What triggered for the shot spotter to go off to the second location?
The suspect fired his weapon.
And then that triggered it.
Mm-hmm.
When you left the hospital this morning, what did you say to these men?
Good job. Hang in there. Keep your head up.
So I'm gonna just walk me through again. So it was North Taylor and Terrace was where the initial call came in.
Okay.
1700 block maybe?
19.
19, gotcha. So that was where the shots were initially fired, 2 people dead, the suspect fled, and about an hour and 45 minutes later, ShotSpotter picked up shots off the Euclid. Tell me where the ShotSpotter picked up the spots, and what was the circumstances regarding this shooting?
Well, he fired the weapon, for one. So the officers were already on scene. They heard the shots as well as ShotSpotter picking it up in the 15600 block of Euclid.
So by the town home motel, is that right?
Somewhere around there.
Gotcha. But he was in the bushes, or what were the?
He was hiding, of course. He was trying to get away. Okay.